Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's with your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Persona 5 Royal. Bedtime enforcing cats, best girl arguments, and hundreds of hours of RPG await in Persona 5 Royal. Does this game earn its JRPG crown? Persona 5 Royal is available on PC, Xbox, Switch, and PlayStation, and is also available through Xbox Game Pass. Should you wish to buy it, MSRP is at $60, and the game is very long. You got 100 hours at least for your first playthrough, more if you want to keep going. So what exactly is Persona 5? Well, it is man, the elevator pitch for this game is a doozy. Okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. It's a time management visual novel / relationship and or dating simulator mixed with a turn-based, weakness-focused, dungeon-crawling JRPG and also Pokemon? Yeah, I think I nailed it. Now let's somehow explain this game in 3 minutes. Persona 5's premise is similar to the rest of the games in the series. People's unconscious thoughts create a whole separate universe, one filled with shadows, aka people's bad feelings. The biggest dickheads have palaces, basically monuments to their ego and crappiness, which if one were to infiltrate and steal their ultimate treasure, the bad guy would essentially have an epiphany on how they are human trash and have a change of heart. Your main character, codenamed Joker, is a phantom thief, aka the guy who will go steal said treasure to make bad people good. Over the course of the game, you'll be recruiting other characters, often social rejects, who awaken to their inner strength called Persona and will fight alongside you to help punish do-badders by stealing their metaverse treasures. Also, there's a cat that has a Zoro persona. The story leans heavily into its themes, like all Persona games, this time being around those punished unfairly by society's wrongs and how one can help combat seemingly inassailable corruption. You have a girl who is sexually harassed by her gym teacher, an artist whose work is being stolen by his master, a shut-in haunted by previous gaslighting of perceived crimes, and so on. With each palace you conquer, your roster grows, with these new characters being engaging, interesting, and charming. This ties into the first half of the game's core loop, the life management stuff. As you're a high schooler, you'll have small chunks of time each day to engage in various activities. These can be hanging out with specific friends, training to raise various stats, working part-time on jobs for money, and so on. Hanging out with people is crucial as you will gain ranks in social links, essentially ranking up your friendship, which ties to the game's JRPG and Persona / Pokemon system. See, the other half of the game is turn-based JRPG dungeon diving into those palaces, as well as a near-endless dungeon called Mementos. Combat is turn-based but with a big twist, elemental weaknesses. Hitting enemies or being hit yourself with a weakness knocks them over, allowing for big damage, and knocking over all enemies allows you to either recruit them or beat them extra bad. Your MC is special, he's allowed to have multiple personas, unlike your crew who only get one each, and most are gotten by recruiting defeated monsters. Each persona has its own set of abilities and stats, and you can fuse persona by executing two and gluing them together to get a new one. The strength of this new persona is based on its tarot alignment, which each of your social links are paired to as well. So if you're best buds with, say, Haru, and you fuse an Emperor's persona, that persona is going to be swole AF because of your friendship. So basically the loop is every day you decide if it's hangout day, stat raising day, or dungeon diving day and plan accordingly. And that's basically it. And that's gonna be some sort of speed record for explaining Persona 5, so let's move on to the pros and cons. So what do I like about Persona 5? Well, the game is more addicting than Adderall, with its excellent story, fantastic JRPG systems, and everything just feeds into improving you in some way or another. The dungeon crawling feeds your social elements feed the dungeon crawling. It is an addicting loop. Additionally, the production values and art direction of this game are insane. From its stylistic UI and menus, its fantastic visual design, its bombastic musical score, its god-tier writing and voice acting, it all combines into an incredible package. And lastly, this Royal version is absolutely the definitive edition. As someone who platinumed the first game, I was worried Royal wouldn't add enough stuff for a second run, and I was happily proven wrong. With new characters, scenarios, plot points, and general improvements to combat, Royal turns an already fantastic game into a bona fide masterpiece. When it comes to the bad, this game does love to arbitrarily take away your time or force you into certain social engagements, which I get is realistic, but in a game where you meticulously plan out your life, having it be upset is infuriating. Additionally, you can absolutely fall into the trap of the JRPG grind with this game, particularly trying to grab levels and new personas, and while social links are meant to mitigate part of that grinding, on harder difficulties you will need to dungeon dive for XP, which kind of messes with the game's flow. And lastly, this game is a massive time investment. I will say it does not feel its length, but you have a visual novel's length of writing in this, paired with a massive dungeon crawling RPG's length of gameplay, meaning you are going to need to invest if you're going to see this game to the end. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale. Must play, maybe consider, don't bother. Of course, Persona 5 Royal is a must play. Believe the hype. This is one of the best JRPGs ever made, and this is coming from a series that already houses multiple other best JRPGs ever made. It's the kind of game that when you beat it, you feel kind of bad because you realize so many other games just pale in comparison. If you play one JRPG, play Persona 5 Royal. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. There is no way this video is under 4 minutes, but I did the best I could. Regardless, please let me know what you think of Persona 5 Royal, and if you played any of the other games in this series, please tell me in the comments, but regardless, make sure you go out there and play Persona 5 Royal.